Well, Shania with the left hand again, guys. You know that's 80%. Those of you who watch enough Auburn basketball know it's 80% when Janai is going left-handed. What's up, guys? We've already got the game going. I'm a little bit late. I was working on a special project that had nothing to do with Auburn basketball or the brain drain. I was going through some of my dad's coins that he drove down here like a year ago and dumped at my house. It was like 200 pounds. And I said, someday I'm going to work through these coins. And today I started it. And I just lost track of time, to be honest with you. Word, it is so good to see you guys. Let's go right over and get to business over here. The game is already underway. Let me get the score going. Monmouth got a nice little start here. They're up 9-6 right now. And they've got a player that, when I didn't have my glasses on there, they looked a little bit like Peyton Thorne. And I'll be curious to see if he's any good. Because you'd think that he'd probably miss a lot of passes. I think it's that guy that's out there, number 13, I think. Oh, nice little shot for Monmouth there. We've got a lot of legends here with us already. I was telling Easterwood and D. Lucky before I got on the air, I was like, I don't know if we're going to have a lot of participation in this one, guys. Because, you know, it's a 5:30 tip. It's Monmouth. We got a lot of stuff starting up this weekend because they're playing Missouri to get conference play started. And I was like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of participation. But guess what? There is. And you guys are fired up to watch the Auburn Tigers, just as I am. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Stoop Hub jumps in with the super chat, the first super chat of the show. A man who has super chatted every single time we've done a show. That goes back to COVID. I was going to say every game, but back then it wasn't even games. We did get our first splash, at least that I saw, from Chad Bacon Lasagna to get them up to 9-13. Now it's 9-13. So I'm just kind of getting my sorts here. You know, it's very unusual for me to start a stream this late. Golly, what am I doing? Chaney wide open for a 3-ball. Front rimmed it. It happens. We got some absolute legends in here, in addition to Stoop Up, as is customary. Kanuman is here with us. Solo Tigre is here with us. Small Victories, who I kind of feel like is new on the scene. Not new like today or anything, but we appreciate him being here as well. Melee with us. Yabo. Melee says, JGT looking to sell coins? I am indeed. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So I found this one today. I didn't even know what this is not what I was trying to get. Look at this bad boy, Melee. That's a $500 bill. That's more than I'm worth. It's a 1924 series. I have no idea. I just looked it up on eBay. It says it was worth more than $500, and I was pretty stoked about that. I also got 1 billion of these. These are like little silver eagles. They're like, I guess they're graded. I'm a sports card guy, and they're like silver $1. And these usually go for like, I don't know, $60 or $70 on the eBays, something like that. Anyway, Stefano Numano. What a great name. I love that. Daniel says he'll give me Tree Fitty. It's about Tree Fitty. We need to get some stats up here instead of the Auburn Tiger stats. Of course, Auburn's crushing it this season. You guys know that. They came into this game prohibitive favorite, obviously, because Monmouth is not very good, although they've started out pretty well in this game. But interestingly, the line in this game was smaller than it was against the Georgia State game, which I thought Monmouth would have been considered an inferior opponent relative to Georgia State. However, the odds people in Las Vegas felt differently. And you know, those of you who have been betting for a few years, or at least aware of betting, as I have, and many of you have, that those wise guys in Las Vegas often know a lot about these things. All right. We don't have Bevo with us, but we do have hot, fresh stats. And there they are. Let's see. Melee says, we got a coin guy here in downtown Boone. Are you talking about North Carolina? May want to email him or someone before you eBay that stuff. Yeah, I'm not in a big hurry at all. We sold some double eagles a few years ago. I sound like that. Sonic U, hey Jay, thanks for going further to engage and grow the bunk community. I appreciate you, bro. It is really one of the joys of my life that I was able to roll into the auburnsports.com world when I did in 2012, and that you guys have had me this long, and hopefully someday. Well, that's not fair. There's a whole bunch of you guys who are ardent, awesome bunker people, and you guys, pretty much everybody in this chat is exactly what I'm talking about. But I feel like we care a whole lot about our community. I really do. And I love you guys. You guys mean a lot to me on a personal level. A lot of you guys I've met and know. And it's a great community. And we're not always the best at everything. I don't think when you have 3 sites like we do at Auburn that are really good, that are staffed by quality reporters, it's hard to be, the best at anything, really. When you got Jason Caldwell out there, you got Jeffrey Lee, you got Pink, you got Clemente, Nate King. I mean, there's so many good ones. Henri, who I believe will soon be leaving the roost. That's the rumor anyway. That's what I read on auburnmediarumors.com. Still Auburn trailing in this game. Got 1,000,000 miles to go, but Chad Bacon Lasagna could get him ahead right here. Missed it. Knuman just says, love you guys. Yeah, Knuman, I'm not feeling my best today, actually. I was hoping the body armor would help me perk up a little bit. Knuman says, Jason Caldwell is a stud. We heartily agree with that statement here at auburnsports.com and specifically on the Brain Drain. Big fan of that guy. I've been working around him or with him. I don't know how you want to look at that for God bless. We started about the same time, 98. And he's just been a great guy to know. Great family. Janai trying to work them with his left hand. They're aggressively double teaming him over there on the block, which is exactly what I would do. Which typically means he's either going to split them and finish with his left, or he's going to throw a skip pass and hit somebody wide. That time he got a little bogged down on the double team, which is okay. Ephesians, what's up, bro? JG, my man, I hope Christmas was great for you and yours, brother. Team a little slow at the moment. That's true. Maybe they're just kind of getting over their holiday funk, or you get in that holiday mode. Even if you're an elite college athlete like they are, they'll probably be all right. Diego says, you're the best of all, JG, in my opinion at least. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to give you an applause for that. You're very nice to say so, bro. Yabo says, how about the Walker White Shadegate? Did he mean it or just a poor choice of words? Interesting, Yabo. So I saw that Mike G, the esteemed Mike G from the War Report, was tweeting about that. And I completely agree with his opinion, which was that I didn't really think what Walker said was disrespectful to Auburn. I think if you look into it that way, if you're looking for disrespect, you could probably come up with it, which is what I'm trying to say to you. If you, not you specifically, but if you read what he said, you in the euphemism sense, and saw that as a disrespect, I don't think you're wrong, because if you read it word for word, it does sound kind of catty. But knowing Walker like I do, and I don't know him the best, but I'm just saying he's a good kid. He's not talking shit. He likes Hugh Freeze. And he had a good experience at Auburn. Auburn was very supportive of him at a tough time, supportive of his family at a tough time. I think he was just saying he came to a place because he feels like they're going to develop him well. Which is not to say he wasn't being developed at Auburn. I didn't read that into it. And that's what Mike G was saying in his tweet. So I completely agree with that. Now, I'm open to different opinions, though. I might have worded it differently myself. But I'm 52 years old. I've been reporter / working with PR people, 25 or 30 years now. So I know exactly how to kind of couch words and phrases, and he's 20. Runner 24 is in from the East Coast. It's a pleasure having you here, sir. On this interestingly timed game, a 5:30, at least in our time zone, out where you are, it's going to be 6:30, of course, game. Again, in a non-conference game, I had a couple of people texting me, including my girl Bridge, wanting to know where the game, what channel the game was on, which is a fair question. These days, we're so spoiled. We think of Auburn being on TV every single time, but when they play Monmouth and North Alabama and whatever, sometimes you end up on the plus. Tim the Toolman Taylor, one of my all-time favorites. Light Canoeman is a part of the Bourbon Blend family as well. We've been talking about that, Courtney and I, about getting that show cranked up again. We told Maddie was like getting on us about it, and there's a splasher Rooski. Maddie was getting on us and saying, why don't you guys do your show? I said, because we don't have a studio, and we'd really like to use your room if you'd get out. I mean that in the nicest way possible. And she said, well, as soon as I graduate, you guys can have my room. And I was like, okay. So I guess that means Bourbon Blend is going to be starting back up in May. Maybe before, I don't know. So anywho, I love you guys. Tim's always there with us on the Bourbon Show as well. And Canoeman comes in when he can. Canoeman is he's on the go a lot. Let's see. Sonic. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Sonichu? I don't know. Denver's shooting in the month of December has been insanity. Might be like the best percentage of any Auburn player in 1 month ever. I haven't really looked at that stat. Let me take a gander. I mean, we know he's been shooting well, and he's been probably playing a little bit less point and more off guard. Maybe that's kind of brought him up. Good golly, Miss Molly, he's 45% for the season. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's take a look at some of these games. Here are 3-point numbers lately. 3 of 6 against Purdue. 5 of 7 against Georgia State. 4 of 5. Holy, I'm going to do some math here. Sonic, that was a good one to bring up, my G. 5 of 7, 4 of 5, and 3 of 8. Good golly, Miss Molly. 8, 12, 15 of 24. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably better than 50%. Oh, Dr. Upchurch is so proud of me today. 63% in his last 4 games coming into this one, and then he's already hot today. So I think that's fair to say. He's 2 of 2 today, so he's like probably 70% now through his last 5 games. That's crazy, man. Sonichu. Okay, I got you. Sonichu. Yabo says, love me some Denver. It's been great. I know, Yabo, I know you've been supportive of him start to finish, but there's been some people in the bunker world who used to give him hell, man. He was taking a lot of crap. I think really a little bit early in this season, but definitely in the second half of last season. And I think the smart people were like, guys, just give him a minute, man. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. And he is definitely coming around for sure. He basically is the sponsor of our splash sound, even though it's actually Chris Smooth. But anyway, Mole in the house is good morning. I don't know where you're at, Mole. I guess you're in Perth, Australia, if it's morning. I guess you could be in Wellington, New Zealand, Kuala Lumpur. Could be in New Delhi. Maybe Estonia. Maybe Tallinn, Estonia. Schaefer Kia, so glad to see you here. I've seen you on the bunker. I haven't seen you in the chat here, but glad to have you, bro. Ashley Schaefer, BMW, specifically, is one of my favorite dealerships. This is how we do it here, man. That's why my name's on the GD building. I'll take that as a compliment. Oh, look who it is. It's Neil J., otherwise known as the Welshman period, on the bunker, and an avid Auburn fan coming to us live from the outskirts of Glasgow, Scotland. Says, evening, folks. Hope y'all had a great Christmas. 9 minutes to midnight here in Soggy, Scotland. There he is. He sent me a video the other day from a train he was on, and some people were scuffling. Not in a really dangerous way, just more of kind of like a drunk white person way, just doing stupid. Like older fraternity guys just like fighting for no reason and not doing anything. And I was like, what was the problem? And he goes, I don't know. Like, I feel like in America, we would try to get to the bottom of it, and try to understand why they were fighting. But over there, they were just like, I don't know. Just let them do whatever they want to do. Just let them get into a slap fight and roll around and just be dumb. Let's see. Mike says, EC, Elijah Craig, barrel proof Está Bueno. That sounds delicious, man. You got to be in the right frame of mind for Elijah Craig barrel proof, though, because if you're not ready for it, it will absolutely punch you right in the, I was going to say a bad word, but right in the gut. Let's see. Yabo says, I really like Howard talking about Jakai. Ever since the airplane brawl, he's been bringing it. Unfortunately, my argument would be that he was bringing it before that. You just didn't see it because he was doing it in practice and his game opportunities, at least at that point. Well, he'd only played one game before he got in trouble, but all right. So Tahad is in there. Denver just dropped another one, didn't he? Good God. He is on a bender of some kind here, guys. Jeez Louise. Auburn's doing the thing again where they're getting very handsy in the half court, deflecting passes, which those of you who watch them all the time know that this is something that Auburn does a whole lot of. They're just so long, and I thought Chaney was going to get that three. Great rebound, or tap rebound, I guess you call it, for Dylan Cardwell there. Good effort. Miles Kelly, my guy. Probably my favorite player, and I still think there's so much untapped potential with him. I think he's going to be an even bigger contributor as we move forward because he's so flammable. Ephesians just wants to call him Splash Jones. I'm on board, really. Although sometimes you got to be careful when you use that moniker. Rocky Mountain Jones is what Melee calls him. It reminds me of what is that? Isn't that Ronnie Millsap's song? God, come on, man! I just lost it. Not Rocky Mountain High. It's Smoky Mountain Rain. Smoky Mountain Rain. I don't know why I would have switched it like that. Stoop Up says, Kelly reminds me a lot of Purifoy. I could see that. I could see that from a length and just so quick as a hiccup type player. Really couldn't be a whole lot different. Very, very different kinds of people. D'Angelo was just like such a nut. Just spazzy almost and so energetic. Kind of like Kai. And Miles is like super quiet like Mustafa. But they sure they have some similar, just crazy athletic ability. I think Miles is more polished. But I mean, golly, I wasn't trying to split hairs over it here. It was a good parallel. Yeah, Daniel says Purifoy had that elite 3-inch vertical. He was a better athlete than that would suggest, but he was not a great leaper. That's Tahad. I didn't even see the number, and I knew that was Tahad. He has a kind of similar way he kind of floats around and shoots. Now I want to hear Smoky Mountain Rain all night. It's a nice little hiccup move by the Monmouth guard there. Didn't go down. 26-24 Auburn Tigers leading at this point. Let's see. Sanichu says Kelly's going to get drafted. His ability to shoot from his off-ball movement, rather than just a catch and shoot, is the best I've ever seen at Auburn. Only Bryce in the conversation. Very interesting. Auburn just did something, and did Monmouth Called a timeout 7 seconds before a media timeout. That's interesting. AU Taxman talking about Purifoy. Did he get hosed by the... Oh, I didn't see that was a slap slamski. I'll get hosed by the NCAA. I felt like he to some degree was... I don't know. That situation was so murky. And there's still things about it that I don't understand. Specifically, like what the deal was with Frankie and Jordan Verhulst, who was the video coordinator. We never really got straight answers about what went on with those guys and why they got in trouble the way that they did. Jordan has resumed his career, and Frankie certainly has resumed his as well, both in the basketball world. So it wasn't like a death knell for those guys, but I never really understood exactly what was so upsetting about that. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that I like. I love assist-to-turnover ratio. Auburn's got 8 assists. Well, look at that. 9 buckets, 8 assists. That's amazing. 2 turnovers. That's amazing. So they're doing an efficient ball handling to bucket job. 4 of 10 from 3, which is fine. 6 of 7 from the line is fine. That's actually more free throws than they normally have at this time of the game. 11 boards to 7, have not given up an offensive rebound. Monmouth, for their part, 4 assists and 2 turnovers is not too bad. 8 of 15 shooting is not bad at all. 4 of 6 from 3 is really good, so they're doing okay. Auburn's points per possession is equal to, but not above or behind. I'm tricking you guys. Renee Descartes would love that one. 1.33 points per possession. It's a little high defensively from an Auburn perspective. And everything over there is looking pretty normal. Let's see what we got. Mike says Millsaps got pissed at him once and rearranged the furniture in their house. That's the rumor. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's dirty. Stu Pup says he thinks that Frankie got caught up in that. Yeah, that sucks because I love Frankie. And I'm glad to see that he's gone ahead and been the badass that we figured he would be after his playing days had ended. Let's see, Melee says, little known fact, all the identifiable land river features described in country roads are only occurring in the western part of the state of Virginia. So the song is about western Virginia, not West Virginia. Very interesting. Neil says Splash Jones. I'd take that as my porn star name. Come on, guys, give it up. Who is this? All right, got a little sidetrack there. Sorry, guys. I say we had to do when I was in like 4th grade, I think we had to do a square dancing to Country Roads. And like a dance number to it, and I got to where I hated that song because I heard it too many times. And I was living in San Diego, and I had no idea what West Virginia or Western Virginia was like. They just talk about mountains, and I'm like, okay. We didn't have really mountains in where I lived at that time. I have since seen them. Pipe in the Hizzle, my man. What's up? Hey, guys, give it up for Pipe, his wife, Daphne. Had a baby. Pipe is a new daddy. That's the second of the brood. And mom's healthy and happy. The daughter, who they very astutely and intelligently, in my mind, named Maddie, is doing well. Mom's doing well. Everybody's doing great. Except for Pipes now had to reset his dad clock. And he's going to be like 70 years old when his kid graduates high school. Let's all laugh at Pipe for that. But I will say that he's a good dude, and Daphne's good people, so I'm stoked about him. Yes, Mike says Purdue in the Hizzle. That's right. Pipe is a ardent Purdue fan, but took his ass whooping real well a couple weeks ago in Auburn. when Auburn went in dry, he was very complimentary in the group chat about it, and he knew what time it was. Hey now. Maybe he should stop laying pipe. This is a fair question, Pipe. AU Taxman's got a question there, and or at least a suggestion. I was trying to answer that, and my computer won't let me do it. Uh-oh, we got a potential injury here. Oh, Dylan just needs a little time. He'll be all right. Did he hit his head? How did it look, guys? Pipe says, Daff says she misses me. I know that's not true. She may miss my wife, though, because she's cool as shit. Not sure why. I know why. Because my wife's around me, usually. And you know Miss Courtney's a good time. Neil J. can certainly vouch for my wife on that one. And then there he is, Neil J. himself. Congratulations to Mr. and Ms. Pipe. Yeah, we definitely partied. Neil and me and Pipe and J-Dub partied heartily. That was in Mexico, I think, is where we ran into them. I think, where are we going this year? I think I know. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Y'all know any Robert Frost? Stopping by woods on a snowy evening, anyone? Anyone? Look at that. Pipe says, thanks, guys. He appreciates it. That's why it's like a family. It's a big family. But even this family knows you can't be having kids. I'm just kidding, man. You could say I'm just a hater because, you know, I was like 48 when my daughter graduated from high school. But that's okay. I don't know why I'm not in this as much. That was a terrific dish, and then a little Dunkarooski from Sir Cheney Johnson. Drop. Of course, he didn't have the assist. That was Sir Janai, but Cheney positioned properly, and Janai pump fake, low pass, cash money. Schaefer Kia says Chris Frost was a poet. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. No, he's a developmental player. It wasn't a pump fake. It was just kind of a head tilt, head nod. Melee, it was kind of interesting how short she was compared to how tall he is, right? Stu Pup says, I'm going to be old as hell when my kids graduate high school. You're not going to be that old. You're not going to be that old. Stu Pup. Your wife's going to keep you young. Look at that, Cheney. Very physical finish right there. You love to see it, man. And this is something that Cheney, I didn't think he was really good at this last year. But he is more willing to take it to the limit. He just wants to be more physical in there. And he's got strength and the toughness, I think, to just get it done in there. Interesting to see Auburn being a little more willing to get in there and bang. I've been critical of them in the past 10 games for not drawing enough free throws. It's a great way to keep your offense kind of churning. And Auburn, I think, gets a little jump shooty. Tonight, not as much. They're really bringing the fight to Monmouth and doing a hell of a job so far. Let's see. Sonichu. This is first time this year where our effort looks really bad, especially defensively. I don't think so. This is obviously not their best performance, no, but I don't think it's been bad. It just hasn't been quite good enough, but they've been rebounding well, and let's just see if they can kind of buckle down here for the next segment and just kind of finish out this half and get up 12. And oh, man, nice save by Chad Bacon Lasagna over to Miles Kelly. That's got to go. I thought he was going to hit that one. Have we got a foul on that or what? Yeah, AU Taxman, you're so right, dude. I hate the Eagles, and I don't even know why I did that. I've had a long day, and I hate the Eagles, man. Yeah, it's pretty rare that you see me singing that. I feel like I gotta sing Disturbed or something now to offset it. Something maybe I can get Dave Drummond on the phone. D Lucky was when I was talking to D Lucky about this show tonight. And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be great because it's Monmouth. He's like, you gotta do something a little different, JG. You can't just talk about Monmouth the whole game. So we'll just keep talking about other stuff. Chaney with a double base of the rim bounce. Still can't get it to go. That is not the shooter's role. The Eagles are so overrated, Kanuman. You know I feel that way. I don't dislike the Eagles on an individual basis, but like together, their stuff is just so gooey and yucky. I don't know. But it's what's weird is that I can rag them for being kind of that gooey, yucky, heartless kind of crap. But then then there's other groups that are similar and I like them. So I don't understand it. Sonichu says, I think it looks like a typical Christmas break disinterest plus rust plus playing a 2-10 team. I think that's fair. I think it's more about that. I don't think it's lazy. I think it's just rusty. Not like my father-in-law rusty, but just rusty. Damn, Melee says, didn't know Jack Skelton was the Monmouth coach. Little Tim Burton. Insider humor there. Oh, did you see Chad Bacon lasagna with the spin around on the dish? That was really nice. I believe if you go back and look in the 1995 post-game Final Four montage, one shining moment, you will see a pass from X-ray hip that goes to Joe Smith. It was just like that for a dunk. I'm telling you. I'm pulling weird facts out of my brain. AU Taxman says, people act like they rock, talking about the Eagles, but it's just soft, sappy pop. He's so right. But at the same time, I will acknowledge that Boys of Summer is a great song written and performed by the drummer of the Eagles, and it's also soft, sappy pop. But I love it. So it's not fair. What'd I tell you guys? Get on a nice little push for this next block of minutes, whatever it's going to be, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and get up by 14, and you're good, right? Boom. Then they went from up 4. Now they're up 10. Chaney Johnson with the switch the hands and finish with his left. That's what I'm talking about right there. GW with us. Y'all thought I wasn't showing up to marvel at that hair, just like some beaches to think like that. Hey, no. Yes. Let's see. Runner 24 says the Philadelphia Eagles are the worst. Stu Pup, the band is highly overrated. I have not been encouraged by the Eagles' greatness this year. I don't like them. If you like them, Runner 24, then I would probably not hate them. But I pretty much hate all the teams in the Northeast. Like the Patriots are the worst. I hate them so much. Don't like the Eagles. Don't like the Giants. Don't like the Jets. Don't like the Redskins. The Commanders. Although I like them better now that they're the Click Commanders. Who else are we missing up there that sucks? Buffalo Bills. I don't hate the Bills. It's kind of weird. People our age, like the Bills were so bad for so long, it's weird to think that they're actually good now. Grind makes a great point. Monmouth's athleticism is impressive relative to what I expected from them. Absolutely. I thought they'd be out here just getting jobbed, And they're not. They're fighting. And they can shoot a little bit, too. Okay, Runner 24 hits the Philadelphia Eagles. Word. Carter says, Chaney is so physical with it as long as we play a horribly overmatched opponent, but I'm here for it. Hey, he is valorous, though, right? And we're going to find out. We're going to find out if it's actually true improvement or if it's kind of like what you were saying, Carter, where it's just when he's overmatched or when he's overmatching the next person, yeah. I'll be curious to see if he can bang like this against the likes of Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Tennessee. I think for him it's just a confidence thing. I think he spent last year kind of figuring out that he can play at this level. And this year, he works really hard. He's probably their hardest worker on the team, as far as just showing up to the gym every day and approaching the job like he's a professional. GW, I hate it when you do this. When you get on me about the Raiders, we are on a winning streak, and it pisses me off, but it is true. They have won 2 in a row now. Beat the Saints with their $200 million quarterback on the sideline again, Derek Carr. And we beat some other crap team the week before. I forget. Maybe the Jags. The Jagos. And now we have 2 wins in a row. We're in 8th place in the draft. Nah, man, we didn't want Shedeur Sanders anyway. Nope. Didn't want Cam Ward anyway. He's a quitter, though. Ephesians says, what about the Saints, Jay? I have nothing to look forward to with this team because they throw the draft away every year. I'm sure they will take a right guard from UConn or something dumb. Yeah, my friend Sean, I was talking to him in the bar last night. He's a big Saints fan. And, I take a lot of comfort. That's a foul. Did they call that? They didn't call that. I take a lot of solace in the fact that my Raiders are terrible, but we have a lot of free agent money, and we're going to be drafting relatively high. Saints, I don't know, man. So Saints, I think, are bottom 4 in terms of free agent money they've got to spend. They've got a maxed out roster right now because you're paying the quarterback so much money, and he's not very good. So there's not a ton. I mean, if I was a Saints fan right now, I wouldn't be super, super excited about the future. But I feel like Saints fans are just super loyal anyway. Like it's kind of a, the way that Auburn football fans are, where it's like, War Eagle anyways, Still a lot of Auburn football. Uh-oh. Chad Bacon lasagna. Splash. Man, what a shot. That is the most Chad Bacon lasagna shot you can ever see right there. So on brand that it hurts. He just defies geometry with some of the things that he does with a basketball. It just doesn't make any sense. He's not even he doesn't have a chance to watch the ball. He doesn't really follow through. He doesn't watch the arc of the ball. He knows he's anticipating the contact before he shoots it, so he shoots it in a hurried fashion. And then just splash city, man. All right, so Auburn's up now 14. That was a very quick little burst right there to go from, up 4 to 14. Probably only took a minute and a half. Thought I heard something. Just like he drew it up, Ephesians. Absolutely, sir. Let's see. Feel like a stranger. What's up, G? There's one of our favorites. Says, I think Cheney presses. Knows Broom gets a ton of minutes and touches. Cardwell gets a good bit now, too. When Broom went down, I thought Cheney relaxed, knowing he was getting the minutes and the shots. Just trying to make the most of his time in there. I could see that. Sonichu agrees with you. So, outstanding. Let's see. GW says Raiders going to draft CBM for their quarterback. Yeah, we need to think outside the box here because we're not going to be drafting one, I don't think. I mean, unless it's second round and we pull some like Quinn Ewers or somebody like that. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure we're going to go into next year with it screwed up again. There's been some talk in the Reddit community that we're going to draft Ashton Jeanty, which I like. I mean, he's a terrific player. But, I mean, it doesn't solve our problems, really. But you might as well. It's kind of like with Brock Bowers. We ended up taking him last year because he was just so obviously the best player available when we picked. We didn't need him, and he certainly doesn't help our defensive front and our blocking. Look at that, Janai, Mr. 80% with the left hand, leans in, and that's a bucket, yo. He's a walking, talking bucket is what he is. Look at Tahad out there. Now, that is some defense. Tell me he's being lazy, huh? That ain't lazy defense. That's outstanding defense. Look, Marquise Daniels and Coach Ian Borders watching on in approval. They love it. They're in ecstasy. Well, maybe not that much, but they like it. T-Roy Tigers in the house. My man, look at that guy. What an absolute stud that guy is. I get to party with him once a year. Unfortunately, I get to party with him on I think it's Friday or Saturday night in August. Every year, me and J-Dub and T-Roy Tiger just tearing it up. getting it done while our gals do their thing, or their various things. Some professional, some just hanging out, just being social. A. Jackson says first round running back doesn't make sense. It's the Raiders, bro. I mean, I know you don't have this problem. You probably pull for a team that makes sense and wins, but I don't. I pull for a team that loses and makes no sense and has I don't know. We have a weird owner. We have a weird stadium situation, or we have a really cool stadium, but it's always full of other fans. We don't have a quarterback. It's a mess. Neil's about to bounce. He says, time to head to bed. Happy New Year to all the Auburn fam, and may 2025 bring us a natty and some playoff action. Does this guy know how to party or what? And I ain't talking golf and equestrian. Everybody love everybody. Look at that, man. Appreciate you, Neil J. Take care, bro. I'll holler at you tomorrow on the Facebooks. T Park says, if it makes you feel any better, my Atlanta boys laid a major egg last night, JGT. I did have a chance to watch that one. I pull for the Falcons because my man J Dub's a Falcons fan, and his son, John, is a Falcons fan. So I want to see them happy. And the Falcons did not get it done. Although I love their decision to go to Penix, though, right? Which wasn't last night. Well, it wasn't the first time, but that was ballsy, dude, to tell Kirk Cousins to kick rocks with all that money they've invested in him, and to give Penix his chance. I think it's really, really cool. And I thought he played good last night. Not good enough for them to win, but he played well. I just realized these stats are a little bit out of date, but look, Monmouth score is not that out of date. Isn't that crazy? Chad Bacon lasagna with another, probably not a great choice. Oh, Denver. Oh, my God, he hit that. Did he hit that? Did that count? I said earlier it was the most Chad Bacon lasagna bucket ever. No, that one is. That was amazing. What did that chick's hat say? 48-28 is what we've got at halftime now, guys. Yes, Stu Pup says, now that was the most Chad Baker lasagna shot ever. You're right. He just upped himself. Beppo, what's up, bro? I mentioned you earlier. What do you think, guys? I love Peyton Thorne was doing, like, not actually Peyton Thorne, but the guy that looks like him, number 13. I think that's going to be a bucket, y'all. I think that's a bucket. Oh, no bucket. Said it was still on his palm. So we go back to 46. Auburn finishes the half. I didn't realize it was quite that protracted. 18-0 run. And that literally started right when I was saying something about it, where I was like, guys, what they got to do now is just get on a little run here and push it out. I think I said 14, but I didn't know it'd be 20 or 18, but damn, man. That's the really interesting thing about this ball club is that the way that they play, when they get really hot, like inside of a game, man, they will burn your ass for like 2 minutes and they'll get up 12 on you like that fast. It's the most flammable Auburn team I've ever covered. Because when they pop, man, they will absolutely scald you. And they have so much depth, and they get their hands in your passing lanes, and they just turn you over, and then they make you look bad. I mean, to put it all together. All right, so here's the halftime numbers. I love looking at overall numbers. Let's take a gander here. Auburn, 13 assists on 15 buckets. Holy cow. 13 assists, 2 turnovers. That is playing some good basketball right there. I love valuing possessions like that. 14-0 bench points. Auburn maintained its points per possession that we were talking about with about 6 minutes to go. They were at 1.3, 1.35. But Monmouth's points per possession has dropped from 1.3 to 0.93, which is a huge drop. It fell off a cliff. That's kind of what happens when you score 0 points over a 5-minute period. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little stuffy. Auburn's +9 rebounding. Auburn is Monmouth, by the way, 5 assists, 7 turnovers. So 5 assists on 9 buckets is just not enough. Points off turnovers, Auburn's +10. Points in the paint, Auburn is +12. So, yeah, all the statistical markers are looking good for Auburn. Interestingly, Monmouth did not have a single offensive rebound in that half. And they are not a great rebounding team. You can kind of tell from that, but geez Louise, not one. Let's see. Ephesians says, Jay, who would you say has been the best get out of the transfer portal for this basketball team through non-con? I guess, do you mean like new guys? Because really there's only a few. I mean, of all time, it's going to be Janai, right? He's technically a portal guy. And I think you can make the argument that he's the greatest Auburn player based on what he accomplished at Auburn to ever play. I mean, Barkley's, clear and obvious Hall of Famer. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame, but I mean, that's mostly for his work in the NBA, which was outstanding too. And he was a very good college player. Also, Cassidy P coming in from the greater Atlanta area, where I wish I was tomorrow, picking up another Tesla. But I will not be. But Cassidy P will still be living in that fine town of Atlanta, GA. So long, 2024. Eager for San Antonio in 2025, y'all. I love that attitude. I have covered a Final Four in San Antonio in my lifetime. Kentucky Wildcats were victorious in 1998 in the Alamo Dome against the hated Utah Runnin' Utes. They also beat Stanford with Amp Lee as their point guard. I had something interesting come up recently, which was that Spicy P, I don't even know how I can fix that. Spicy P contacted me on the bunker. Remember we banned him? Hold on, let me rephrase that, guys. I banned him for making stupid comments in here maybe 3 shows ago or something, and I think the ban stuck. So I've got to take him off. I got to remember to do that. I thought I'd be able to do that here on the air, but I can't. So Ephesians, you just said from this past transfer cycle, which I just ran right through that stop sign. Okay. Portal-wise, so that would not be Cheney, would not be Semo. Jakai was a high school signee. Tahad was a high school signee. Dylan, Miles Kelly's the only one that matters, right, in this cycle? So I'd say Miles Kelly. That was easy. He's kind of more of a collaborator at this point than he is, a star player, which is so interesting to me because he was like the de facto star at Georgia Tech last year. Melee says Monmouth disappeared faster than Biden. Oh boy, don't get political on here. Cassidy P says, I remember that Final Four. Michael Doliak, Andre Miller, and Rick Majerus were no match for Cam, a.k.a. Cameron Mills, Wayne Burner Turner, Nazi Muhammad, Scott Padgett, et al. I'll tell you how long ago first of all, it was 98. We got a one-on-one. Well, it was 2-on-1, technically, me and the other guy that I worked with at the Kentucky Colonel. We had lunch with Rick Majerus. Like, probably the highlight of my career, honestly. Just like sort of interviewing him, but just sort of talking to him. Rick Majerus, who was the effervescent and so incredibly interesting head coach at Utah. Later, the head coach at St. Louis. Wow. What a guy. S.L. Price, who's, for my money, probably one of the 5 greatest American sports writers to have ever lived, wrote a story in SI about Rick Majerus. The Life and Times of Rick Majerus, I believe is what it's called. Seriously, if you guys want to read some amazing sports journalism, like you're just chilling tonight, you're not doing shit or whatever, tomorrow or whatever, look up S.L. Price, Rick Majerus, Sports Illustrated. And I'm telling you, you won't read many better than that. Pure Heart by Bill Knack is better. And I think that the one about Pat Summitt, I can't remember. Did Mike Smith write that? I don't remember who wrote that. So that one, The Eye of the Hurricane, was something. Melee says the Rick Majerus. Yes, the Rick Majerus, like the big guy. Yes, and he cussed a lot, and he was incredibly brash, and he was hilarious, and he was a tremendous coach, and he was just so real, such a realistic person about himself and his team and who he was and who he wasn't. I actually, now I think about it, I didn't think about this until I was just talking. Daniel D says, I subscribe, JG. I appreciate that, brother. Saying it was epic. Majerus was a hell of a dude. That really was epic. And I met Bill Knack, too. I had lunch with Bill Knack, the great sports writer who wrote the Pure Heart, and who was actually a character in the movie Secretariat when he was working for the New York Daily News covering horse racing. I got to meet him. They say don't meet your heroes. I didn't really have a great time with Bill Knack, but anyway. Rick absolutely lived in a hotel, John D notes. He never wanted to live anywhere else. He wanted someone to clean up after him, which I respect. It's not my life, but I mean, it was his life, and that's cool. Ephesians says, you're right, Jay. My question was easy and not a good one. LOL, my bad. Who's the best newcomer on this team? I guess Pettiford. Newcomer. Yeah, I'd have to say Pettiford for sure. Long term, I think Jakai might be there. I don't think he's there right now. And I preseason, I would have said Miles Kelly, and he just hasn't been quite as hot as I thought he would be. Probably still trying to understand. For him, it's a big adjustment going from a number one guy at Georgia Tech, although I thought he was miscast, and now he's, a bit player. Not a bit, but he's a collaborator here. He's one of, 5 or 6 guys that are important all the time, and he's kind of learning. Cassidy says, anyone else watching Cardwell butcher this mannequin trying to draw blood? Yikes. I haven't really been watching as closely, but I can notice I feel like he's got some work to do still. I wonder if that's the kind of stuff my daughter does when she's in the teaching hospital at South. Probably so. Solo Tigger says Bill Knack, the science hack. No, William S. Knack. He went by Bill. William S. Knack, who's probably one of the 3 or 4 greatest American sports writers ever. I guess the greatest ones would be, in my opinion, Bill or William S. Knack. Rick Riley, who's a turd, but he's an incredible reporter. Grantland Rice. God, who was the guy for the LA Daily News? He died in like 98. He's, oh my God. How can I forget the names, guys? Good God. I just can't remember his name. He's one of the great ones. And, of course, Philip Marshall. Not Bill Murray. Jim Murray. What am I talking about? Jim Murray. He's like the GOAT. Just amazing. So many great sports writers. I wonder if you can even do that anymore. I wonder if you can actually be a great sports writer now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the definition of a great sports writer now is like Ross Dellinger, who's awesome. I love Ross, but he's not a columnist. He's a newsbreaker. Beppo, my man, I did fire up some hot, tasty, freshly fried stats earlier. Boy, I tell you, back about in the 90s, my wife gave me for Christmas one of those greatest American sports writing books, and it was the greatest. It was the gold one. It was like the greatest American sports writing of all time. And I don't. A lot of those I've not read before because I don't read Boxing Gamers from 1935 or whatever. But golly, they were amazing. So good. And you just don't really. Nobody really has a platform to write like that anymore, I don't think. Ayler says that all great sports writers are clickbait artists. Whatever. Bo is great. He tried to call me a liar about the Not that Malik Blockton, it was the one before that. It was Malcolm Simmons. He was like, oh, Malcolm Simmons wasn't leaving. I was like, bullshit. And he wasn't leaving, but he was interested in considering options. Same as Malik. Plunkett. No, Jim Murray. I think even guys like Lupica would consider Jim Murray to be certainly one of the 2 or 3 greatest sports writers of all time. I mean, Grantland Rice, I think most people would say is the greatest. But I can't say I'm super familiar with Grantland Rice because he was writing in like the 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, Gay Talese, who's not really a sports writer per se, but his, first of all, he's a Bammer. Second of all, his, I don't know what you would even call that, essay, feature, although that's kind of underselling it, on Joe DiMaggio is like one of the great sports stories ever written. Mike Lupica is very good. It's just really hard to take. He's a very difficult person to be around, or he was. Back in those days, so I got so lucky when I was at Kentucky, 96, 97, 98. That was 3 national championship games. And so as a sports writer coming up, learning how to do this job, I get to be around a lot of really influential people. I just happen to be around because you're in at the Final Four. I mean, they're everywhere. You sit down to work and you're around somebody, you know who it is. And so I got to sit around Lupica, Mitch Albom, Kevin Blackistone, Bill Rhoden, golly, there's so many, Rick Riley. And I mean, you guys know how I feel about Chuck Culpepper. I think he's the greatest American sports writer living right now, who's actually working. Bob Ryan. You know, when you back in those days in the 90s and 80s and stuff, you'd be a great David Halberstam, Taxman. He's really good. He's kind of like the thinking man sports writer, though. Like Plaschke's kind of trying, well, prior to him getting on the TV show, but he's a very astute writer. Plaschke is an incredible eye for detail. Mitch Albom is really good that way, too. I just don't know, like, if there's a Mike Lupica out there, like, who's young, who's like 30 years old, or there's a 30-year-old Mitch Albom, like, where are they and what are they writing? George Plimpton, great one, Taxman, he's a great one, too. Like, where are they and what are they doing? I don't know. I mean, there's nowhere to go. Like, yeah, okay, when I was a kid, you go work for the L.A. Times, the Orange County Register, or the New York Daily News, or USA Today, or something like that, but nobody wants to go there anymore. Let's see. Schaefer Kia says, who was your favorite of the Mobile Press Register? Golly. You know, I think Neil, back in those days, was a really good reporter. Didn't have a lot of personality to his writing, but he was really thorough and gave you a lot in a short period of, you know, he could write he was thrifty with his words. I thought Cassandra McAvoy did a good job. Herndon was really good. Josh Bean did a good job down there. I'm not going to say Bill Cameron. Not Bill Cameron. Who was the Cameron down there? Bill Cameron's in Auburn. Stoop Up says, where do you get a start as a sports writer now? That's such a good point. So my thought is that you end up kind of doing like what Barrett did, Barrett Sallee. Daniel says Prayer Circle Neil. Yeah, long before he was Prayer Circle Neil and the guy that he is now, like the Neil the Troll, he was a Auburn writer at the Mobile Press Register and did a really, he was good, man. He has a real, I mean, I learned a lot from him just working around him. How to ask questions, how to get to the point. He kept his stories shorter. He's good. But these days, you know, as all of us are, we do a lot more talking on a mic than we do writing probably, although he does a lot of writing. Peter Gammons, oh my gosh. Runner 24, that's a great one. Peter Gammons is, he was so good at like the notebooks that he used to do in the 90s. I thought he took the notebook concept and pushed it forward. It was so good. He kind of like turned a notebook into an editorialized notebook. And he would sprinkle in like tidbits about like Yankees prospects or Mets prospects or San Diego prospects or whatever. And he would tell some really good little stories about like Jake Peavy back when he was coming up through the Padres organization. And that was a nice little shot there for Monmouth to open the half. Little Dirk Nowitzki fall away with the knee up. Get some space. Diamond Notes. That was it, Knuman. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Dick Schaap. Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah, where are those guys now? Where are the young Dick Schaaps? They don't exist. I mean, they exist, but they're like writing. I don't know where they are. I don't know what they're doing. I guess Wright Thompson might have been the last, like up-and-coming sports writer that was like nationally known. I don't know. And even these days, he's kind of like doing like TV takeouts and stuff. Phenomenally talented player. I say player because I'm watching them play, but writer, reporter, storyteller. Let's see. A Taxman says Gammons was also truly the first sports writer to become a well-known TV personality. Is that right? I haven't really thought about that. Stu Pup, speaking my language, though, when he says Gammons on Baseball Tonight was such a must-watch, he seemed like the most in the know, you know what I mean? And Kirkjian now, to me, long-term, is that guy to me. Like, Tim Kirkjian, to me, is like the quintessential insider, Buster Olney was like that, who was an outstanding reporter of the Nashville Banner back in the day. Ken Rosenthal is kind of like that, although I still think Kirkjian's better than him. And like Ian Rappaport does an awesome job in the NFL, and I'm glad to have known him when he was young because we were about the same age. He was working in Jackson when I first started here. He was covering Mississippi State, and I knew he was really, really good. I could tell he was way better than me. Knuman says, did anyone watch Sports Reporters back in the day? I sure did. God, I lived for that show. That was that's how I learned about who Album was and Mike Lupica, Bill Roden. Yeah, Daniel, that's such a good way to put it. He says, Kirkjian is one of a kind in this day and age, knowledgeable without being pedantic. You're right. That's exactly what it is. It's like he knows exactly everything that's going on, and he doesn't talk down to you, and he doesn't like pump himself up. And that is so rare these days. It's because he grew up in a different time, because he's not worried about that. Yeah, Runner 24 has this 12-year-old fandom, which adds you can tell he just genuinely loves baseball. He just loves the game, and it makes him such a great asker of questions because he has the natural inquisitiveness about the game. He's just super passionate about it. We're passionate. We want a record deal. I'm just getting caught. This almost sounds like a COVID show now. We're just talking about whatever. Oh, Janai's letting him know. I'm glad you didn't say anything back because he might have. I hope he used his right hand. Yeah, I did go back a little ways with that Nashville Banner. Buster was there though, back in the early days. I worked with some people who knew him there and said, this guy's insane. And that was before Buster Olney really had gotten big. This is in the mid-'90s. I'm trying. The names get away from me sometimes. There was a guy with the Nashville Banner, and then he later with the other Nashville paper. His name was Joe Biddle, I think it was. And we were, this is the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. I was a student reporter down there. And we were going out toward, I can't remember where I was headed. Because they would send us, we'd go to all kinds of weird shit. Because at that time I was doing like spot work for UPI, which used to be a thing. And we got on a bus. You'd have to take media buses out to places. And we were going out to like whitewater rafting out north of Atlanta. And the fucking bus driver like got lost. He wasn't American. And he got lost. And he got frustrated. And he literally pulled the bus over on 285. And he started crying. So help me God, he was crying on the side of the road. Tears streaming down his face. Inconsolable. Like, you know what I mean? Like just having a moment. And Joe Biddle walked up there and was like, he kind of looked back at everybody on the bus like, somebody's going to have to go up here and calm this guy down. And so he went up there and put his arm around him and like trying to talk him off the ledge. Like, hey man, we need you to get back in this chair and get this bus going, brother, because we got to get there, man. You're gonna be the hero of this story. And he got him back. He got him back on the road, and we eventually got there. And all I know is I got there in time to write a story about the silver medal winner who was from America. I don't even remember the story anymore. But UPI just kind of went the way of the dinosaur or the dodo, I guess, Melee. I don't really know what exactly happened there. I don't know. Yeah, Lebitard, I just don't know much about him. I obviously he's a stud, but I just don't. I haven't really watched his show, and I never really crossed paths with him out and about. I don't know him. Miles Kelly with a splash. He was Johnny on the spot right there. He got that ball, and he put it up quickly. He was ready. Ready. Yeah, Beppo, you're exactly right, man. Hey, man, let's get this bus going. You're going to be the hero of this story. Come on, bro. But, I mean, he was literally just, he opened the door. When he pulled the bus over, he opened the door and just sat on the stairs and was crying. And he was just inconsolable, And it was just weird. But Joe Biddle did a hell of a job getting it back going. I thought that might have been a travel on Denver. He looked like he was kind of carrying the ball there, but I don't like a step back from 28 for Janai. Oh, but he's going to get his three free throws, and he's vexing this dude right here. He was talking shit at earlier, and now he's laughing at him. I love it when they do this kind of gamesmanship. It's good stuff. Janai is particularly good at this, I think. Left-handed, he's 80%, guys. Maybe that's just for field goals. Sonichu says, Broom, why are you launching step-back threes and still getting blocked? LMAO, total bailout. I thought it was a bailout, too. And that's just not a shot he needs to be taken. So I'm with you 100% on that. I don't love the threes, period, but this, like, full step back, like, come on, man. Like, that's just not. If you've got a guy like Janai, who's an 80% shooter from inside of 7 feet with his left hand, why isn't he shooting inside of 8 feet with his left hand? You know what I mean? Like, that's. That's like if your girl's like the best CPA ever. She scores a 100% on the exam. Every accounting firm in America is offering her, an exorbitant amount of money. And she says, you know what? I want to be a librarian. And you're like, why don't you be a CPA? And like, no, I don't want to do that. I'd rather be a librarian. Janai, just shoot 7-footers with your left hand. Boy, Monmouth's getting some good shots, and they just can't get one in the bucket. Jump ball. Beppo says, Broom, bailout 3 is not a splash. So what are the inverse of that is? Oh, AU Taxman says, rest in peace, Greg Gumbel. Yes, tough loss then. My wife, who doesn't pay much attention to, like, broadcasters and shit, she saw the thing that they did on Monday Night Football last night about, Sunday Night Football, I guess, last night, sorry. And she's like, oh, my God, he was really good. I'm like, yeah. It kind of like that Tim Kirkjian thing you were talking about not being pedantic earlier, where, like, he was such a good broadcaster, but he never felt like he was trying to be Mr. Big Dick. He was just trying to do the job. And then Al Michaels, to me, is on the other end, where he's trying to be Mr. Big Dick all the time, but I enjoy it. Pat Summerall is my all-time favorite. He was more of a demure one, and he kind of gave the mic to John Madden. But Poppy Clan says CPA greater than librarian. Look at that. Beppo says, just like rappers, all they want to do is be hoopers. And what do all the hoopers want to do? They all want to be rappers. Just like AI used to do, man, trying to rap under the pseudonym Jules. And that was good. Hell of a point guard, though, isn't he? Hell of a point guard. I think it's kind of weird. Like, I'm watching this Nissan commercial, and I feel like they're promoting the fact that they have Apple CarPlay in their car, which to me is just kind of a bailout. Like, I don't think you should ever, as a car manufacturer, be enthusiastic about having your UI developed by a whole different company. I know I'm sounding like a Tesla driver here, but like, I don't love Apple CarPlay. I wonder how y'all feel about it. I think it's kind of just goofy. I never used it, and then in my Tesla it's incompatible with that. But it should be, because Tesla's UI is way better than that. There it is. BP is closing in. Joel Eves already passed Cliff. Bah. He's a good one now. BP's a good coach now. GW, you're still taunting me on this quarterback situation. Yeah, Cast DP, I'm with you, man. Greg Gumbel, such a smooth. There he is, Joe Champy, the man. And my guy Britt Bowen sitting next to him. Joe Champy, man, what a stud. Absolutely love hanging out and talking to Joe. Talk about someone who acts like Mr. Big Dick all the time. Joe's got a lot of personality. And I don't mean that a bad way. Joe's just Joe, I love the Italian-American flag. He was wearing that the other day, too, last time we saw him on TV. He's a very proud, he appreciates both sides of the ancestry there. Was lucky enough to have some dinner. Look at that. Another Chad Bacon lasagna. Impossible angle 3. I got to give it to him. Wow. These Monmouth dudes got to be like, this is not real. Let's see. Taxman says, CarPlay is clunky to me, but I use it. I think a lot of people probably feel that way. But promoting is like promoting free HBO. I do still see people on Reddit that will be like, I will not buy a car unless it has Apple CarPlay. And I mean, I kind of get it. Like, certain people just crave familiarity. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's fine. Like, they don't want a car to be an adventure. They want it to be utility. That was a really nice drive by that number 1 from Monmouth. He just couldn't finish it. But I like the way he was weaving in and out of traffic. That was pretty sweet. Nice little cutback by Miles Kelly. Oh, I love that. I love that drive and that finish, man. Oh, that was so tasty. Give him some love here. Drop. That was awesome, man. He had that planned out the whole way, because when that ball was coming to him, he knew he was going to cut back on that dude. Oh. Hey, man, I'm not like making an equation here, but that was very Jordan-like. That's the kind of stuff Jordan used to do. He would do it all night, every night. And Miles Kelly does it every 5 games, but you know what I mean. That was a great play right there. Love to see it. Says Mike is dropping out intermittently. So what I think you need to do is reset your browser. We had this come up maybe a couple shows ago, and I troubleshot the hell out of it, and I think I was fine, and it was something to do with the YouTube. So reset it, and let me know if that works, because that worked for everybody the last time. You guys aren't making it up. I'm just saying I think you just got to reset it. I like Ephesians says, why do the commentators keep saying Chad Bacon Lasagna's name wrong? Not sure if they know the Chad they speak of. I'm telling you, that's because we know the truth. Because we have been to the Dominican Republic and we know. Yeah, I think it's a YouTube thing. I don't think it's anything I'm doing wrong. I don't think it's anything you're doing wrong. I think it's just, you just have to kind of reset it. Okay, so Shane says that worked, and Beppo says that worked too, so that's what it was. That's great. I was going crazy trying to figure this out a couple weeks ago, and and it turned out to be a YouTube thing. Some of the folks, fellow creators, I guess I am technically a creator, were talking about having some trouble and having to get people to, hey, what's going on? Ma'am? Your mic keeps dropping. Thank you. We've got it figured out. You've got to reset on the app. Okay. Or on the, you had to reset your browser. The people said that they're all good now. Gotcha. Thank you for that, Courtney. What were you thinking about for later?
I got you some food.
Well, I still got a show.
Not much longer.
That'd be true. We just kind of been talking. Because they're playing Monmouth. Ma'am?
Did you buy this today?
No, it was upstairs. There's 7 of them up there. There's 7. I got through 3 of the 7. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Take a look at this. How about it?
Yeah, you should know.
You got to leave them. I have a little system here. The stuff over there, I've cataloged. Yeah. Schaefer Kia says, the bosseth cometh. There you go. Call Me Biscuit says, how did Monmouth end up on the schedule? Is there some Bruce connection? No, I think this is one where the guy who does the schedule is a Burgo, and I think he was just looking for someone to fill here. Now, a lot of the games do have a reason, but occasionally they just have games that don't have a reason, and this is just like that worked out. Burgo, I think, just puts out the APB that he's looking for a game, and then somebody will pick it up and say, oh, yeah, we'll do that. And that's kind of how they get going. Beppo says, hey, Courtney says, yo, Mike be dropping. You say, where my supper?
Where my food?
Where my food at, woman? Whoa, woman. All right, the next time out, we'll definitely get some hot and fresh stats, Beppo. I promise you that. Yeah, Matt, just take the battery out. Put it back in. It'll be fine. I remember my wife used to, this is a long time ago, it was probably 15 years ago. My wife had an LG Ally. That was the name of her phone. It was one of those phones where you like flip the keyboard out and type on it. She was having trouble with it and stick it over to Verizon to get it worked on. And they go, hey, why don't you, have you thought about taking the battery out yet? And she's like, wait, so the official solution to the problem is to take the battery out? I'm going to need to get an iPhone. And she came on over and got an iPhone. She's been on the iPhone team ever since. Hey, there's Joe D, my guy. There he is. Sitting there on the sideline. Beppo says, where's Monmouth? Without me knowing, I'm going to say that I think it's in New Jersey. Because there's a Monmouth Park up there. Monmouth is nowhere near Well, hold on. Let me make sure that's the right one. It is in New Jersey. It's in West Long Branch, New Jersey. I wonder if that's near Monmouth Park. I always assumed it was. Yes, Monmouth Park is like 1 mile north of there. There you go. Canoeman says, Joe D is the man. Tell me you know Joe D, too. Please tell me you know Joe D. You know everybody. That old dude was trying to go over Janai, and Janai's like, no, we're not doing that. You need to be better if you're going to go over me. That was a very aggressive drive from Janai. He didn't get it in the hole, but he drew the foul. Auburn's gotten plenty of fouls called. Drawn plenty of fouls is the way I meant to say that. Getting to the line a bunch. Let's see. Schaefer Kia says, I know people in New Jersey, property taxes are insane. And Daniel P. says, it's awesome having a player who gets so many respect calls for once. Yeah, he does get a lot of those. And a lot of it, I think, is him just playing a lot of basketball at Auburn and understanding, how to put himself in the best position for fouls. I mean, he thinks like that, and he has the mobility to do that. He has the creativity to do that, and his left hand is just deadly as hell. So He's a master at that. Yeah, Beppo says we are driving more. Needed. Agree completely. We've been talking about that the last several games. That we feel like Auburn needs to get to the line more. A lot of people see that as an officiating problem. I look at that as a style component of Auburn. GW, sometimes I wonder about you, bro. You have these like non sequiturs. But I love it, but sometimes I don't understand them. And sometimes I think they're brilliant. They just can't get a shot, guys. I mean, there's no quality shots here. That's a little bit of a reach in by Janai, to be fair, but the shot quality from Monmouth has been really bad since about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Kidman says, of course I know Joe D. I'll stay vague, but he lives in the southern part of the state. He does indeed, and his businesses are in healthcare or associated with healthcare, yes. Hope that is vague enough. Of course you know him. I wasn't questioning that. I know you're not a bullshitter. But I don't understand how you know everybody. You like Stoltze. Stoltze's like that too. I don't know if he knows Joe D, but he knows like everybody in Auburn, you know. I feel fortunate to have gotten a Christmas card from Joe D, the legend himself. Let's see. Ephesians says, how do you feel? Y'all, this is going to be disappointing to you. About Happy Gilmore 2. That's a really tough one to have a sequel to. In my mind, there is no way to even match it. I'm going to blow your mind right now. I have never seen Happy Gilmore. And I think I know why as soon as I look it up here. This is exactly why. So Happy Gilmore came out in 1996. My life was I was not having a good time in 1996. My life was not going well. I was in a very dark place. 94, 95, 96. Things were not going great. And so I just really wasn't I wasn't in the game. And that's why that movie came out and I wasn't in the game. Apparently there was a absolutely disgusting dunk of some kind that I missed while I was battling, which happens sometimes. And I can't hit rewind because it's on streaming, so I'm in trouble. I do promise you some stats, Beppo. I have promised you, and I will deliver the aforementioned stats because it is time to do that. Usually I just do second half stats, but we'll go full game just to kind of change it up a little bit, a little wee bit. Just a little wee bit now. All right, hot, fresh stats. No, Schaefer Key, I was not in a goth state at all. What happened was I got my undergrad at Transylvania University, as many of you guys know, and my goal out of the gate was to take over my granddad's construction company because that's what he wanted me to do. Well, that's what he said he wanted me to do, and that's what I felt like my dad wanted me to do too. And so I did, and it was miserable. I was in the wrong business. My granddad was being a dick all the time. It just wasn't going to work. And so I felt like my whole life was going sideways and I was just not happy about it. So I was working a lot and I was miserable a lot. And that's where I was at in 1996. So I didn't have the money or the time to see movies. And I should have caught up on it since then. I'm no longer in that situation, but I just haven't caught up with that one. I will though. Oh, my God. AU Taxman says Happy Gilmore's love interest is a young Julie Bowen. Okay, now I'm on it. I love Julie Bowen. That was a really disgusting dunk. You guys are right about that one. That's a young man making the most of his athletic potential right there. Look at JPP, though. He may not be having a great season, but look how much he loves cheering for his teammates. Look at that. Let me get the score updated, and then we'll talk some stats, okay? Well, that was dirty. Coach Corey Williams doesn't even know what to say about that one. Good God. Auburn now has 18 assists on 22 buckets. Good God. 2 turnovers. Guys, they've been at 2 turnovers for probably 20 game minutes. Good golly. That's amazing. 18-2 assist to turnover. That's even great for this team. And this team usually has very low turnovers. That might be some of the best we've ever seen from them. I mean, guys, we're 3/4 of the way through a game and they have 2 turnovers. Shooting 47% from the floor, 32% from 3. 26 free throws is insane. Auburn being plus 16 on free throw attempts is probably unusual. Interestingly, they're 10 of 10 at the line, Monmouth is. I mean, by the way, Monmouth is not, their ball handling really hasn't been that bad. I mean, 6 assists to 10 turnovers isn't atrocious for an Auburn team, an Auburn opponent. But they just can't shoot the rock, man. I mean, 33% shooting in this half. No threes. And they're getting out rebounded again, so they're just looking rough. Let's see. Schaefer Kia says the more I drink, the better they play. My man right there. Also, he said earlier about the short hair Julie Bowen. I'll take the short hair or the long hair, bro. I'm good. I am so good. GW, once again, trying to rain on my parade, says, get out the winter clothes for next week. It will be like North Dakota kind of cold. Is that true? Is that true? God, I've been stoked about the weather lately because it's been warm as hell down here. Whoa, bro. You weren't kidding. 45 for the high next week? Oh, boo. Thumbs down. Melee says, hundo for gravy fries. No, it's cheesy fries. Yeah. That's what they'll do. Man, it's going to be cold. How about that? That means that I'll lose range on my Tesla. It'll be devastating. Been reading about all these people up in the Northeast that are like, oh, actually, it's people beyond that. It's people in Canada up there, in Nova Scotia and shit. They're like, they're getting like 160 miles on a full charge. I'm like, sucks to be you, man. Grind says Howard is going to be insane. Hope Pettiford stays more than one season, but I doubt it. I just don't know if Pettiford's going to be able to go to the NBA like this because he's so short. And the NBA, I feel like if you're short, it's such a burden. They're looking for longer point guards. So I definitely don't think he's going to be a one and done. I don't think so. Let's see. Ephesians says, I'm not sure what sounds more questionable, gravy fries or gooey fries. Gooey fries. Poutine, which I learned like in the last 2 or 3 months what poutine even is. It's like a fried chicken, but it's different. It's not a regular fried chicken. I don't know. Grind says he's so good at creating his own shot. He is. He is a creative driver for sure. Kind of like Samir was, what I would call like kind of an unorthodox driver. Probably learned, I don't know this, I haven't asked him, probably learned on the playgrounds because he's from up in the Northeast. Where Samir's from too. And actually so is Jakai from Boston. Todd's from Jersey, but and Samir always talked about how, he had such unusual drives because he just kind of learned how to play on the playgrounds. Monmouth finally scored. God bless those kids. It's going to be a long trip back to Jersey, but at least they'll have some great food. Get some Chick-fil-A in them. Make them feel better about it, Show them some of that Southern hospitality. Maybe they went to Acre last night. Maybe they went to Amsterdam Cafe. I'm glad they didn't call a foul on that 3-point attempt by Monmouth because it wasn't a foul. Kuneman says McDonald's has poutine at all Canadian locations. Let's see. GW says, in better news, it's only -48 in Yakutsk, Siberia right now. I haven't been over there before. Daniel P says poutine is fries, cheese curds, and gravy, right? Whoa, buddy. That's not the one I had. Oh, my goodness. What am I missing? First of all, you're 100% right. That's exactly what it is. I looked this up on the McDonald's Canada page. It's poutine. Yeah. Melty, mouth-watering cheese curds on our famous fries. You better believe it. How about that? What am I missing? I mean, I'm like not even close. Why does that have... Never mind. What's the poutine that I had before then? Chip says they're going to hit Milo's on the Parkway on the way out of town. My man. That's a Southern hospitality they're always going to remember, Chip, right there. Nice drive. Right-handed drive, I might add. Because he's amphibious. He can use both hands. I was hoping Courtney was going to come in here and answer my question about poutine. Let me see if I can get an answer to this. Hold on. Oh, okay. It was Poussin. So we have Poussin at City Grill. I had it one time. And then y'all are saying poutine. See, to me, Dumbass Jay, that's pretty much the same. It's not at all, but according to me, it is. The things you learn. GW says, is poutine a Canadian version of Putinanny? Kind of like ham and bacon. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh, here we go, man. Women's basketball starting up in the league. South Carolina against Missouri, LSU, Arkansas on Thursday. Auburn's going to pick that up Saturday against the hated Missouri Tigers to open up conference play. And let's just find out just how good this ball club is. I'm predicting they win 14 games in league this year. I know we're looking at a really good Auburn team, and there's going to be some of you who say, 14, Jay, come on, bro. They're going to win at least 16, but I'm telling you, the league's really good, man. The floor of this league has come up so incredibly high, where the worst team in the league, it's probably South Carolina, is an actually okay team. Back when Auburn was trash, Mississippi State was trash, those days are over. Everybody's pretty good. Let's see. Runner 24 says, to be fair, JG, do not speak Canadian, so it's understandable. I do not have anyone translating for me. Ergo, I make the mistakes between poisson and poutine. Beppo says they got to hit Buc-ee's on the way out. Of course they would. By the way, Buc-ee's did get their superchargers open, so all you Tesla heads like me, now we have somewhere to get our big, fatty supercharging going. And those are the version 4s. No, they're the version 3s that have the 350s in them. So we will charge fast, those of us who have the fast chargers. Look at that. Dylan steps up and hits a pair of free throws. You love to see it. Let's see. Ephesians says, man, all this food talk, and now I want something greasy and bad for my health. So glad to be helping you in your health journey. Just kidding. I know you don't really need one. I think I saw a walk there. Waffle House is pretty southern, I think so. But they probably have them outside of the South. But to me, it's pretty quintessentially southern. Shaker Kia says JG's new Delta Chi name is John Tesla. John Tesh, the man from Entertainment Tonight. Also, who wrote the NBA on NBC theme song. That's a true story. Oh, drop. Oh, I like Turtle doing that. Get some. Auburn's had more of those alley-oops this year than they probably had all of last year. Like the little drives, and then Dylan is just sitting there lurking in the weeds, ready to dunk a man. You know what I mean? Posterize somebody. Boy, they can't play turtle at all. I mean, give them some minutes, man. Give them some clock, man. Dude, that was filthy step back from Tahad, man. Good God. And that's somebody who should be doing a step back shot, right? Not Janai at 28 feet. So Yabo says, I just cooked a pizza in a cast iron skillet. Highly recommend. Is that even a thing? Like, can that be done properly? Let's see. Chip says, I made cheese waffles, sausages, and over easy eggs at halftime. Wow. That's exciting right there. Everything I've ever had that Chip makes is really good. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm dead with that one, dude. Holy shit. That was like a damn near half-court alley-oop reverse dunk by Kai. I didn't see who made the pass, but good God, man. This is some complicated-ass stuff right here. No, that's a bad idea. And he got it in. Wow. He lived to see the ball go in on that challenge. I'm surprised. 80-44 is what I've got on my screen. Was that Pettiford on the alley-oop? Because that was ridiculous. Oh, my God. Oh, he bricked that three. I thought it was going to be some incredible little run for Tahad. Passing, scoring. Hey, that's a foul. I'll take that, though. Advantage, disadvantage. Jakai with a three. Airballed it. All right, crustless pizza in a skillet. And then Chip says turtle time. I'm ready. I'm so ready for Turtle to get in here and hit a three. That was a really nice alley-oop. That is from half court. No shit. That's a really hard play to make, and those guys make it look so easy. It's crazy. I wish I was an athlete like that at any point in my life. Obviously not now. I'm going to get you some hot, fresh stats. Beppo knows what time it is. I hate the idea of Beppo waiting for his hot, fresh stats. Excuse me. Been a little under the weather these last couple days. Kind of sneaking up on me. I have to gum me up tonight so I don't stay up all night breathing out my mouth because my nose is stopped up. You guys know this. You know the struggle. So the struggle is real, yo. All right, 80-44. Auburn against Monmouth Park. It's been an absolute drudge since about 5 minutes to go in the first half. Auburn's just been in complete command of the game. Auburn did have another turnover during that last segment, but 20 assists to 3 turnovers is amazing, and they have 20 assists on 26 buckets, which is amazing. They're plus 16 on rebounding, which is great. Shooting 50% this half from the floor, 10 of 14 from the free throw line this half. Now they have 28 free throw attempts. That's obviously something that they accentuated in practice, that they were going to be attacking the basket today. Maybe it's because of Monmouth. Maybe it's because of they need to get going with that and start understanding that that's a weapon that they have in their arsenal that they can use later in the season when they play teams like Tennessee, Mississippi State, even Vanderbilt. That's a very physical ball clubs. You've got to – Florida's going to be like that too. You've got to be able to draw fouls, finish through contact, and then get to the line and get it done. Got to. Cassidy Beats is going to bounce for the Lions game. Good luck, sir. Appreciate you dropping by with a super chat and just bringing yourself along. We love having you, brother. Let's see. Stu Pub says, Turtle is now my wife's favorite player because we know he gonna chuck. Melee says, Howard seems Porterish. He does have that bounciness that Porter had. Need to see his ball handling develop. Kind of similar personalities, too. I mean, kind of explosive personalities also. I think that's fair to say. Christy says I'm like that too. No, not really. There he is, Ja'Kai himself. Shocking, really, to me, how polished he was coming in. The dig on him coming in was just lack of maturity, I think, and I think that was a real problem. Is something that they work through. As you guys know, kids mature at different speeds and at different timetables based on a variety of factors. And because a kid is, I don't like saying kids are behind schedule with a maturity because everybody has a different, schedule to it. But I think Ja'Kai is getting the guidance and the regimentation that he needs, and I think he's getting better. He's a terrific player. He just needs more SEMO in his life. That's what I think. Not as a player, just as a human being. GW says JGT's favorite team, the 49ers, are about to kick off. Not my favorite. How dare you? So to get the shades of Doc to Brian Smith during that crazy run in the first half versus Ole Miss in 99. Going back to Beard Ease Memorial Coliseum at that point. Brian Smith on the sideline for Auburn these days as a GA. I don't see him shooting much in practice, though. What are we doing here? Oh, they're saying that, like, SEMO hadn't properly been out of bounds or whatever. Todd's like, come on, man. We're going to stop the game over some silliness like this. Come on. Ephesians, I think this playing rotation is... There's Turtle. That's my guy. We need a turtle sound. What do turtles sound like? Drop. I don't know what turtles sound like. I watched the Galapagos turtle. Well, actually, I watched 2 of them mate at the San Diego Zoo on my honeymoon. I know what that sounds like, but I don't necessarily think we'd want that as a soundbite. Turtle is going in again. Oh, he missed. Hit the heel. Let's see. GW says Las Vegas A Stadium is going to be epic. Is that a go now? Remember there was like there was some time there maybe 3 months ago. They're like, I don't know how they're going to do that, man. Oh, Ja'Kai just did you see Ja'Kai just not even go for the rebound? He was like, that's going to be a splash. And he just ran on through. He's like, that's going. Guys, those of you who shoot. Those of you who thought the gooey fries were not going to be a possibility, or I don't know, guys. I got 85. We still need Presley Patterson and a Blake Michalek to score, of course, in good time. Let's see. Matt says turtles hiss like snakes. I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever heard a turtle. Yabo says, can you get Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the turtle sound effect? That's a possibility. Put that on my to-do list. Also to get Spicy Penguin out of jail, metaphorically. And a Small Victory says he would take Tahad over Sharif any day. It's so interesting you'd say that because Tahad loves Sharif. I think as Tahad was kind of coming into his own, in his own, a prep career, was when Sharif was kind of like this legend in Atlanta and playing at Auburn. And he was doing things like that were kind of frustrating, I think, for me anyway, to watch him play and for maybe you all as fans. But he was, for other players, he had the biggest balls of any player I've ever seen. Like there was no situation that was almost a really awesome pass right there. There was no situation that he was worried about. He would dunk on anybody. He would go through a triple team. He would try behind the back passes. He would do anything. He's just always trying to do something flashy. And I think Tahad really liked that. Tahad, of course, to me is he doesn't do silly shit the way that Sharif did. I really needed Turtle to hit that 3, man. So I've been telling you guys he's a good 3-point shooter, and you guys are like, what? I don't know, man. He's a backup center. I'm like, yeah, he can definitely stroke it. Yabo says Cowabunga, dude. I forgot about that. That's what, 89 maybe when that came out? Well, yeah, with questionable form, small victories, talking about Sharif's shooting. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Sharif was, in fact, a poor 3-point shooter. He really didn't have a jump shot. He had kind of a set shot that wasn't very good, but he could really create for his teammates and just the true, like, swashbuckling point guard, like the way I thought Baron Davis was in the NBA and when he was at UCLA. One of my favorite college point guards ever. Just a total swashbuckler. Tyus Edney at UCLA back in the mid-90s. Just never back down from a challenge. GW, I think they are going to hit 100. Amazon Web Services says it's going to be 101.2, so you have to kind of think about that a little bit. Let's see. Sanichu says Auburn fans have memory holed Sharif's time here when he was finally cleared to play. He was so creative and smooth with a team that was kind of young and a bit janky. That's fair. Yeah, Melee, that is fair. JG calling for turtle threes, but meanwhile shading Janai 3 balls. Two different kinds of players, right? Like one guy's an absolute stud, dominating All-American, and the other one's like a backup. But that is fair, and I will be more careful with that. I'll be more careful with that. Back to what Sonichu was saying about Sharif. We loved his I praised his creativity all the time because he was incredibly creative. But he also didn't understand a good risk from a bad risk, and so he was just going balls out all the time, which is, Trooper Taylor used to say, and I know Trooper's a football coach, but he used to say, I would much rather try to tone a guy down than to have to perk him up. And you never had to perk up Sharif because he was going 100 miles an hour all the time. But, man, if he had been able to play, let's say, another full season at Auburn instead of bouncing as fast as he did, he would have learned to discern between good risks and bad risks, and I think he would have been just absolutely terrific. As it was, he just got himself into a lot of cul-de-sacs and looked silly doing shit, But, yeah, Chris B says, it's a shame we only had Sharif for half a season. He would have been beloved had he been here 2 or 3 years. I would argue he's still beloved, but I know exactly what you're saying. He would have been, so good. But he was a great follow-up to Jared because Jared was so good. You needed someone because it would have been such a huge drop-off. I mean, you did have Javon, but you know what I mean? Sharif was like the next big star at point guard, and, it just didn't really work out. Part of it's because he, was late getting here through no fault of his own, really. All right, we got Blake in there now. Simo, JPP, a Turtle, and who is our 5th contestant? That is so funny, Utax, man. He says Sharif and Dylan Cardwell were in the same recruiting class. Golly, that's really something. Jakai is our 5th contestant out there now. This is an interesting lineup here. JP and Blake playing together. You just got to do what you got to do there. 85-52, Monmouth still at the line is what I've got here. 85-53. Small Victory says, I take it Broom won't make 70.5 points. Damn. I hate that. Hate that for you if you had money on it. Oh, come on, JPP. That wasn't a great pass in to Chris Moe. They're not going to get 100. That was a key possession if they were going to get to 100 right there. Damn, they came right back down and hit a 3. they're just kind of working their way through it. I mean, Auburn's just kind of, putting this thing away, tucking it to bed. Goopy fries. I like that. That was a creative dish from Blake to Simo, I think. Simo was like, wait, man, why didn't you just shoot it? Coach Ira Bowman, Coach Stephen Pearl there, flanking the head coach. Also Corey Williams, Chad Pruitt and Burgermaster there, closer to the bench, closer to the scores table, I should say. Auburn is a 1 seed right now, obviously, because they're the best team in the country. I don't care what the poll says. I know what the numbers say, and I know what the quality wins say. JP, no 3. Melee, that's well done. We have the most clever people in our chat. They had to have a 3 on that last possession, and JPP screwed it up, so they can't hit 100 now. No gooey fries. Yeah. Simo is probably, a 20% shooter from 3? I mean, come on, guys. No gooey for you. Good warm-up game in general. I mean, you got Missouri coming up. You got conference play, obviously, starting. And, I think the goal here was just to win the game and don't get anybody hurt. It looks like that's the way it's going to go. BMAT just texted, or he posted on Twitter to say that Dylan, with 12 points and 11 boards, that is his first career double-double. How about that? That's pretty big. You love to see it. Oh, yes. Solo Tigre said the ever-present Officer Chambers behind BP. Small Victory says 20% seems generous. Yeah, he went I think last year he went a month and a half without hitting a 3, and he was shooting them. He was shooting like 1 a game. And it was just Brick City. But, you got to reward the guys. He practices hard. He's a good teammate. Doesn't cause any trouble. Got Presley Patterson in there playing shooting guard now, number 14. And you got CJ in there, number 7. Oh, look at CJ. Throw it down, big fella. Oh, he's going to lay it. Oh, no. He missed the layup. Turtle ain't going to miss a layup, though. Assist to Presley Patterson. Got less than a minute here, guys. No chance to get 100. Sad. Let's see. Beppo says, good warm-up for SEC start. Thanks, JGT and the Drain, for a great game. Convo, I'm glad to have you here, Beppo. And when you're not here, I miss you, bro. This game has ended in real life. Auburn wins the game 87-58 is the score we got right now. So that is going to wrap that one up. We're going to take a look at the final stats here in just a moment. And I want to make sure I understand Auburn's next. God dang it. Auburn's next game. I want to try to make sure I get the time right on this. Because I like looking ahead and thinking about that. Missouri is 3 o'clock. So we got an afternoon game coming up. 58-87 is the final tally in this one. I still have it listed as the first half. Of course, you guys know we are not in the first half anymore. Let me just take a quick look at these. Oh, Schaefer Kias is glad to be part of the bunker. We're glad to have you. Yabo, enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys being here, bro. Runner 24 jumps in with a super chat as well. Happy New Year. Another great year of training. Runner 24, appreciate you, bro. Let's give him some applause. We love that guy. A good caller, a good dude. Glad to have him on the bunker. Just good. Just good to have him. Wow, this box score got really long. Wait, that's what she said. Just because there were a lot of dudes that got in the game late. Any guesses on who won the plus-minus game for the Auburn Tigers? Who was the top leader in plus-minus? The answer is Tahad Pettiford at plus 36. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. I can't even get this box score in here. That's what she said. I'm just going to leave it there. Otherwise, you guys can't even read it. Kanina jumps in with a super chat. My man. He says, if you love that game, please smash it. I think he means that metaphorically. But we love having the thumbs up. Ephesians, JD, much love, my man. So let's get this regular season championship started. Saturday, I'll be here for sure, and I hope to see you there as well. Just as a quick wrap up there, 22 assists, 7 turnovers. Really, the 7 turnovers actually seems high now. They were at 2 turnovers, I think it was, with about 10 minutes to go in the second half. So got a little sloppy as they subbed the second team and third team guys in, but that's the way it goes. 44% shooting. From the floor, 26, 28, 27% from 3. 21 of 28 from the line. 28 free throws for Auburn is a huge sum for this ball club. Maybe a season high. There's been games where they've shot single-digit free throws. They really focused on attacking the rim today and drawing fouls and trying to finish through contact. So I think that's a skill that they've got to work on. And there's going to be situations in the SEC where you've got to be able to do that. Tonight was a good way to kind of bone up on that skill. Shane H. jumping in as well. We love Shane H. He's an absolute stud. Appreciate you, JG, Ward, Amigo. Everyone have a happy new year. We've got one more day left in the year of 2024. So if there's some shit you want to get done this year, you better get it done tonight or tomorrow. Christopher B says 22 assists on 29 made baskets is filthy. It sure is. They share the ball. This team, probably its best asset is just the passing and the passing tempo. They can just absolutely run around people because of the way that they pass. Dylan Cardwell with his first career double-double with 12 points and 11 boards. It's unusual for him to get the points, right? He gets the rewards a lot, but 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting is terrific for him. Chad Bacon Lasagna with 13 points on 3 of 8. All of his shots were from three-point range tonight. How about that? Janai gets 14 and 11 and really didn't even play that much. 22 minutes, and he gets his double-double. Ho-hum. Cheney with 12 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 6 of 6 from the line. You love to see it. And nobody else really stood out for me here. 8 of 30 from the 3, which is not great, but, it didn't really matter in this game. But I think the story here is Dylan gets his double-double. Auburn's rebounding was just overwhelming, 46 to 27, so they're up 19 on the rebounding. 16 offensive rebounds, which is crazy. Like Christopher B. was saying earlier, 22 assists on 29 buckets is amazing. 7 turnovers, but really it was in the real part of the game, it was like 3 total turnovers. So, yeah, pretty comprehensive win by Auburn. Plus 20 points in the paint, plus 15 points off turnovers, plus 11 second chance points, plus 7 fast break points, and plus 21 bench. Points per possession is 1.27. They would be happy with that. 1.3 is probably where you want to be in a perfect world. And then 0.892 for them, and you just want them to be under 1. So all the statistical markers were exactly where you would want them in a game like this. So there you go. Let's see what else we got. Melee said this turned into a shirts versus skins scrimmage. It's kind of true, actually. Small victories. Closes it out. Say, Ward Amigo fam. Thanks, JG, for another great drain. Appreciate the chat and the community. It wouldn't be a community without you here, brother. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. And for all of you guys. Listen, we'll probably wrap it up there since it's the Monmouth game. We'll be back Saturday. 3 o'clock tip in the Central Time Zone against the Missouri Tigers for a team that should be the number 1 team in the country. 12-1 now, and got a big conference season ahead of us. And at the end of that is the Rainbow, March Madness. So not too far off. I love where this team's at. They're playing great basketball. Everybody's healthy right now, so this is a really good time to be an Auburn Tiger fan. Absolutely, as you guys know. Finally, after 4 shit seasons of football, you've got this. So good stuff. Kaduman, thank you for being here wire to wire, as is customary. When we get you, we love to keep you. So I'll wrap it up there. See you guys then. I'll probably do a couple package videos this week as well on the YouTubes to kind of get if we have some stuff going on with the transfer portal. And we'll probably do maybe a basketball preview. We got to start thinking about setting the scene for these conference games because they are really, really big. So if you see those, be sure and check them out. Of course, auburnsports.com is where it all goes down. At the Bunker, greatest message board in the history of the internet. It's where I am. It's where BMAT is. It's where Stoltze is. It's where Henri is for a little while longer. And Caleb as well. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a great New Year's Eve. Make a lot of great decisions. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Peace.